It's that time of the day, market update time. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright, I'm having fun with these market updates. I tell you what, I love them. I absolutely enjoying these market updates. Whether I'm wrong or right in the markets, I just love doing these market updates. And the thing is, guys, before I start talking about wrong and right, you can't get the market right every single time. You know, it's like you make a call on YouTube or you call on videos and say it's like, oh, you got that wrong, John, and this didn't happen, that didn't happen, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, you know, people like Carl Icahn, who's a billionaire, doesn't get it right. Carl Icahn, by the way, has been short this market all the way up. So I'd rather be on his side than you guys' side that it's just, you know, you guys that are maybe have like a little opinion here and a little opinion there and not really do much. So well, anyway, we'll see. I believe overall, guys, you know, we're going to see a significant crash this year. That's just what I say, this year. And I see a 12,000, potentially 12,000 hit this year. Am I right? Who knows? But what I do say is I have my money where my mouth is, and I'm in this market and I'm trading it. So we'll see what happens, but I'm trading what I see, not what I hope for. What I'm seeing right now is we're very, very weak. So let's get into the market. Let's actually have a look here. We actually have Dow Jones closed lower. Dow Jones again is the weakest out of the whole lot. S&P behind that, the Russell was as well too, and then the Nasdaq was actually closing above. So little close above there on the Nasdaq. Let's actually go to the markets here. Little lower close on the Dow Jones. And once again, you can see the volume's just been tapering off. Of course, the public holiday and the market holiday and stuff like that. But one thing I want you guys to realize, and one thing I've noticed too, that happens in the markets, is that if we're getting ready for and this generally works at tops and bottoms of markets quite well. Generally what happens, guys, if the market's been running up or down, or let's just say this, if the market's been running up for a while and we're getting topping patterns like a head and shoulder formation, hitting major resistance levels, and then if you notice the stochastics, let me actually bring up my trend line. If you notice the stochastics, where the market might be only having a few days up, and we're not getting a big run up. If the market's getting only a few days up, and suddenly you're starting to get the stochastics just spiking up out of nowhere, that tells me that this move here is likely to be short-lived. So you can see that there. So that actually happens. And now it doesn't work. That doesn't work if the market's been going down for a while. Then we get a little spike up, and that happens. Sometimes that works and then move down, but I've noticed that works more times on that. We can actually notice it back here. Okay, you can notice that back here that what we had here is we had this market run down, and we had the stochastics embedded. The market ran up. You can see this actually the market actually the stochastics got up here into the overbought section, and then the market dropped. And you see the market actually just only had a little bit of move down, and then the stochastics started to turn around. So the stochastics is a pretty good tool for that. What I'm seeing here, guys, is that the stochastics are spiking. So if we get like another sideways day, even a slight update tomorrow, these stochastics are going to be up here, ready for a turning point. So that's the Dow Jones. The S&P is already, again, the stochastics for me are already starting to spike to the high side. Again, low volume today. Not really much movement, not really much follow through on the upside as yet anyway. We still could get more follow through on this move. And also the Russell. We can see that the Russell has already started to move up to the high side, and it's already had a couple of sort of one day up and then a little sideways day. But look where the stochastics are. The stochastics are already getting into the turning point of where we should see a pullback. Now that goes in line with obviously what the bigger picture is saying. So we can see markets running up, Stochastics are getting into the turning point already, so you could expect a turning point moving forward. And then obviously you have the Nasdaq as well. And as I said to you guys for quite some time now, that I do expect to see that the Nasdaq to actually stall through here and then start to reverse. Well, you can see the stochastics are already starting to get up to there. So this is getting ready for a turning point in the market. And if we do turn, that's going to be the acceleration. If we do turn here, especially if we stop up the top here and we do turn, that's going to be the move down this today. And then next week, probably moving into June, then we start to see the move down below these levels through here. Maybe even a bit more. Maybe that's when we start to see some real big movement on the downside. Because remember what I said before, guys, right? If you look at your line chart and you take a view on that weekly, this is the weekly line chart. Remember what I said before, if we stall here and then next week we have a move down, this whole move is just going down. We break, and especially if we move down and break below these low levels here, which is around the 4,690 level. If we pause here and break below that, then it's game over. We just create new lows and then the big crash comes. That's the big sign for me. If we start to roll over from there, and then the Dow Jones is rolling over as well too, that's what I do see on the markets overall. So yeah, guys, that's what I see there. So moving forward, guys, I do see that happening. And also if I bring that up and I bring up things like the transportation average, look what I see on the transportation average. Again, the transportation average, which is one of the leaders in the market because it's showing you what's happening internally, what's happening in the market with the transportation. You can see this market has made a double top, followed by this lower trough through here, lower peak, lower trough. The market's run down. You can see it's had this move down and this little weak. And look at this. The market's not moving up a lot. See, the market's not moving. You haven't got these strong buys. You've got this little weak buying movement. And look at the stochastics running up. What is that telling you? There's not much buying. There's not much strength in the buyers, and the stochastics are starting to run up through there. What's that telling you? Well, it should tell you that we're getting ready for a turning point, and the transportation average. It looks like it's going to start doing that on the markets as well too. So, moving on to other markets, guys, such as SLV. SLV for me is almost primed for me to buy it again. Buy options, that is. If you're looking to buy options on this, it's almost primed to buy on this. I like this better than GLD. I see GLD and it's actually pulled back, and it does look like it's a nice little buying opportunity, and it just looks really, really good. But I do say, guys, that, is there actually, just looking at this here, is there actually something going on through there? Or am I making that up? Probably. Actually, let's go to the line chart here. I think I may have just spotted something. I'm making it up, I think. Let's actually do that through there. And that through there. You can see that through there, that through there. So it's actually very close to that level, isn't it? It's actually just broken straight below it. But if you bring up that open highlight close chart, interesting, right? Interesting. You can see what I've done there, guys. If you go to that line chart, you can see this line chart here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. So we're actually at that point right now. So this may be the area of support. It actually looks like that, doesn't it? It actually looks like that indeed. So anyway, we'll see if it actually holds here or not. But for me, guys, as I said before, for me, SLV is the one that I'm looking at really, really closely. I like that. And if I bring up this weekly chart, the weekly line chart for SLV, you can see that it's just really, 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 for me, it's a really nice momentum swing. And you can see that if I bring up the pen and look at some green, you can see that we had this low, we had this slight lower low, and then you had this here. So making like a head and shoulder formation on the upside. We've already broken the neckline. So that was there about $2 neckline. So yeah, so basically that's where it went to, right? Went to the neckline of projection there. So, but you can see here, guys, that you can see that you got this big head and shoulders, and you can see that this market had this support resistance. It broke down, paused for a while, came back up, and now we're running back to the high side, creating this type of action. So actually, let's actually look at that. Let's go back to let's go to a line, and let's go to a black line, and I'm just going to extend up through there. So you can see we're getting very, very close to that level there, especially on the line chart. If I draw the line from there through to there, you can see we're getting very, very close. If I actually, you can see we've had this big run up, we had this nice pullback. It looks like it's getting really, really close to a really good buying level. Let me go to the weekly chart on the candlestick chart, and so you can see what I'm saying, see what I'm personally seeing here. And somewhere around about maybe through there somewhere, maybe through there would be what I'm looking at. So that's what the Dow Jones, that's what the silver's looking at. Maybe we get a little bit more downward movement looking on the silver, looking on the, say, 3 months worth of silver. You can see where what's happening through here. We're getting close to these levels of support. So even like a little bit more downward movement, we can see there's actually a ton of support levels down through here as well too. If I squeeze that up a bit more now, see the resistance through there. You can see that we actually have this resistance through here, resistance through there, a little resistance through there. This trend line starting from there, got this pickup through there. So this whole level through here, guys, is a whole bunch of support for me. So even if we get a little bit more push in the stock market tonight, that'll push the silver down. And then for me, that's prime. This is already getting ready for prime turning point for me, especially on the silver. So silver to me looks really, really good, ready for another big run to the high side. So and if you look at Fibonacci level, guys, if you go from this low point through to the high point, you can actually see the Fibonacci, that's the 50. This is the 62% level. Really, look at that. It just comes straight into that 62%. So me, SLV, which is the silver ETF, I'm looking to buy call options on this one, and there'll be long-term call options. They'll be like expiring next year. I'm not looking for the short-term movement. Even if I'm wrong on the short term, I mean, it goes down a little bit more down, say down to 15 and stuff like that. That's what I'm looking at. So I really like this area of when it comes to buying options as well too. So anyway, guys, that's what I do see in the markets. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm not going to BS you here. Trading is hard. Over my 10 years of trading, I've learned some amazing systems and strategies, and I've put it all in my brand new Grab the Markets by the Balls course, and I'm giving you 100% free access. This whole course is 12 videos long and almost 10 hours of the best systems and strategies that I know. Click on the image below now to get 100% free access right now.